Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go, this is Valley News Live at noon.
New for you at noon. One man is still recovering in the hospital after a fight got out of hand behind a downtown Fargo bar. The authorities say the man in this picture, 43-year-old Timothy Berg, was taken to the hospital after he was in a fight with a man behind the Bismarck on Friday. The other man involved in the fight took off before emergency crews arrived. Now, authorities say that the man described as black, medium build with short hair at the time of the fight. He was wearing light-colored shorts and a dark shirt. Anyone with information on the man involved should call this number, 701-451-7660. Authorities have released the names of the people involved in the deadly crash we told you about yesterday morning north of Fargo. The man who died was 30-year-old George Cantu of Fargo. The injured passenger is 28-year-old Summer Longdog of Fargo. We still don't know the extent of her injuries at this time. Police say that alcohol and speed were factors of the crash. Moorhead police is still investigating an incident involving a man breaking into an apartment building this morning. It started as Moorhead police first receiving a call around 2:50 a.m. of a potential burglary at the Cardinal Garden Apartments located at the 3200 block of 9th Street South in Moorhead. The property manager provided us with an update saying that this was more of a domestic dispute. A woman was trying to get away from the man at the time. She was trying to get inside the security door by buzzing apartments for help. The man found her entryway and broke this glass door. The officer recognized the people involved and requested a welfare check at the woman's apartment. This is a developing story, and we will continue to update you with the latest. Now it's a First Alert weather day. Let's check in with meteorologist Lisa Green to see what we should expect.
Well, we're looking at some stormy conditions coming our way for today. Here's a look around the valley. It's been different depending on where you are. Fargo, we're getting more sunshine now, still cloudy at East Grand Forks, and it's still foggy up in Cavalier right now. So conditions there not looking so great. Whereas in Morton, you can see we've got blue skies, sunshine, a nice bright day, and really heating things up in the Southern Valley. So speaking of Cavalier, our visibility is still down to a mile there. Langton's at 2, and some other places in the region seeing some lowered visibility. That has been gradually improving. We are looking at some rain showers already starting up, though, for us in the valley. You can see that in northeastern North Dakota, Devil's Lake. I'm just going to move the view here a little bit. You can see a little thunder shower happening in Towner County north of Rock Lake at this point in time. So we're looking at conditions that are starting to change a little bit in that area with the cloud cover hanging around. This is all part of a system that's going to continue rolling through, and eventually it's going to trigger some thunderstorms along the warm or the cold front of that, and we are going to be warm. We've got heat building in, temperatures into the 80s already in the Southern Valley, and mugginess with that's going to make for some tough conditions out there this afternoon before the storms hit. And here's a look at the latest severe thunderstorm risk. We'll have the details on that and what to expect throughout the rest of the day coming up here in just a few minutes.
I heard fog, rain, and all these other weather, so it seems strong. Thanks again, Lisa. Well, 2 people are now behind bars following a drug raid where authorities seized several pounds of drugs and money. Drug Task Force agents searched a home in Meeker County, Minnesota yesterday. During their search, they found 11.6 pounds of meth, 9 pounds of marijuana, and over $72,000 in cash. The meth has an estimated street value of around $150,000. A 33-year-old man and a 36-year-old woman, both from Litchfield, were arrested and taken to the Meeker County Jail. One man is now in jail after what police say was a short vehicle chase that led to a foot pursuit. Authorities say it happened just after midnight. Red River Regional Dispatch says the call first came in as a traffic stop. People living near the Park West Gardens apartments say they saw police shining their flashlights into windows looking for the suspect. After searching, police were able to take the man into custody. Police say more details on the arrest will be released later this morning. We have updated numbers on COVID-19 within our region. In Minnesota, their Department of Health is reporting another 697 confirmed cases of COVID-19, along with 7 new deaths linked to the illnesses. In total, 1,685 deaths have been attributed to the disease, while 56,346 are listed as recovered. In North Dakota, 201 new cases with no deaths being reported today. The death toll now sits at 120, while the active case count is up to 1,035. Parents all over the country are wrestling with the decision of whether to allow their kids back in classrooms, especially in areas where COVID-19 numbers are surging. Now, a warning from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention says that opening schools could be catastrophic if not done right. NBC's Tom Costello has more.
This morning, a dire warning from the head of the CDC.
This could be the worst fall from a public health perspective we've ever had.
Going on to say the country is at war against coronavirus. CDC Director Robert Redfield says over 95% of Americans need to follow guidelines to wear masks and social distance if we hope to beat the virus.
I'm not asking some of America to do it. We all got to do it.
The warning comes as schools nationwide are struggling through the chaos of COVID. Georgia's North Pauline High School, which opened last week and was immediately criticized with these photos of students packing hallways, then forced to shut down, now says it has 35 confirmed cases of COVID-19.
There can be steps taken to make in-person learning safe, but I don't think the board has taken those steps.
The school announcing new plans with a reduced number of students on campus. In Livingston Parish, Louisiana, nearly 150 students quarantined after the first week of school. In Houston, a county judge says no children should be in class under the current conditions.
The countdown to the first day of school in person is like a ticking time bomb unless we do this right.
Meanwhile, President Trump is again pushing to get children back to school.
All schools should be making plans to resume in-person classes as soon as possible.
Releasing recommendations for schools encouraging the use of masks when social distancing is not possible, and minimizing large indoor gatherings. In Elizabeth, New Jersey, 400 teachers claimed a medical exemption, making it virtually impossible for in-person learning.
They're afraid to contract the virus at work and then bring it home to loved ones.
Despite the concerns, experts insist if done safely, schools may still be able to open in some places this year.
As long as there's not a lot of infection in the community, as long as we get kids to mask up, as long as you create a good amount of ventilation, open windows and doors in classrooms, I think that it is possible to get the kids back.
As for how much it might cost, officials say one estimate is $1.7 million to retrofit each school to be able to handle kids coming in. But that's the average when you consider the biggest school districts in the country and the smallest. First-time claims for unemployment reached a milestone last week, but analysts say there is still much to do. The Labor Department reports last week's first-time claims were down to 963,000 applications. That's the first time claims have been below 1 million since mid-March. And a good sign, the job market is starting to recover. But 963,000 is still well above pre-pandemic record levels. Many analysts say keep an eye on continuing claims or the number of people receiving benefits for 2 weeks or more. That number fell more than 500,000 down to 15.5 million. As Democratic presidential hopeful Joe Biden kicks off his campaign with newly selected Vice President Kamala Harris, President Trump has announced his plans to visit Minnesota. According to White House officials, Trump is expected to visit a number of states next week, including Wisconsin, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. Officials say the visits to Minnesota and Wisconsin are scheduled for Monday of next week. Well, coming up at noon, see what other plans drug companies have to help aid in the race for a vaccine. And it's a first alert weather day. Weather up next to plan your day.